Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Slate Performance Automotive, and today we're showcasing a very special vehicle, a one-of-one full custom build. In front of me is a 1965 Chevrolet Corvette that we've performed a several thousand-hour full restoration on. This is equipped with modern powertrain, custom bodywork, custom interior, and a modern chassis. The owner of this vehicle has decided to list it for sale, so I'm here to go over all the details about the build and the process. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the powertrain. Under the hood, we've stuffed the GM Performance LT5. That's a 6.2-liter supercharged V8 that came factory in the C7 ZR1, truly the pinnacle of the pushrod small block Chevy. Behind that, we've got the GM Performance 8L90 8-speed. Now, most people who do this swap back the LT5 with either a 4-speed automatic like a 4L60 or 4L80, or they go an even easier route and install a Tremec T56 or TR60 6-speed. Over 75% of all Corvettes ever sold are automatics, and the owner of this car, when we originally built it, wanted to keep the car an automatic. So you get the best of both worlds. You got a lot of high performance motor here, and you've got plenty of gears to get you down the road. And if 755 horsepower is not enough power for you, you're simply a pulley change and fuel system upgrade away from making over 900 horsepower. Let's talk about the chassis and suspension components we've equipped this vehicle with. From the factory, the C2 Corvette would have been equipped with leaf spring suspension. We've gotten rid of the leaf springs and converted this to a RoadsterShop FastTrack chassis. As equipped, the chassis alone costs nearly $50,000. You get a lot with that though. This is equipped with Penske Racing fully adjustable coilovers, Baer 6-piston 14-inch brakes front and rear, stainless steel brake lines, and that Ford 9-inch IRS rear end. As mentioned at the beginning of this video, this car has seen thousands of hours of restoration work. So let's get into the body modifications. At first glance, the body modifications may not stand out, and that's exactly what we were going for. We wanted to make the modifications be very subtle. So when we were test fitting the body of the car onto the chassis, we had to modify the floorboard of the car for that large 8-speed automatic transmission. So the floor pan in this is actually a fully custom-made fiberglass floor pan. When we originally designed the car, we were wanting to theme it as the C2 ZR1. We're using that C7 ZR1 power plant, so we wanted to theme the car C2 ZR1. And going with that was the C7 ZR1 wheels. You'll notice this has the same wheels as the C7 ZR1. And to fit the theme, we wanted to get the tires in the exact same size. So you'll notice we have a 19-inch wheel up front and a 20-inch wheel out back. And we have the C7 ZR1 tire size to spec. That's a 285 up front with a 335 out back. Now, when we went to go set the body on the chassis of the car, we ran into a problem with the quarter panels hitting these large tires. So what we had to do was wide body the back of the car. And to do that, there's a lot of options on the market. You can buy wide body flares, you can buy over fenders that are wide body, but we didn't want to do that. We wanted the modifications to be subtle and be very hidden. So what we actually did, we took the factory quarter panel and we sliced this quarter panel vertically all the way down near the taillight, and we flared this whole panel out. We started with 1 inch, so we flared each quarter panel 1 inch on both sides, and that still didn't give us enough clearance for these large 335s. So we flared it again another ½ inch. So the back of this car is actually 3 inches wider than stock. From there, we also shaved the window trim. You'll notice this has no chrome trim on the car. Also fitting that C7 ZR1 theme with the C2 ZR1, all of the chrome is blacked out. And if you look at a C7 ZR1, there is no chrome. So when we decided to get rid of the chrome, we went ahead and shaved the actual channels in the window. And you'll notice the windows are flush mount. So it gives it a really clean, slick look, front and rear. These modifications alone required so many hours in our body shop. It's very, very tedious work to get these smooth and looking right. And I always like mentioning this because I go to a lot of shows. I've taken this car to a lot of shows. I've had several people over the years ask me, what glass is that? Who sells the glass? And they're really surprised when I tell them this is OEM replacement glass. We've just modified the body around the glass itself. It gives it a really unique look. Carrying on from the windows, Originally, a 65 would have had vents here. So on the B-pillar, there were vents. We have shaved those vents, going with the really slick look of the car. Now, moving forward, we get into the hood. So you'll notice this is a 67 big block Stinger hood. Originally, this hood had a very small cowl induction, and with the large LT5 supercharger, the hood would not close. So there are options on the market for larger big block hoods, but they're very boxy looking. We were not a fan of putting a boxy hood on a very smooth, rounded body. So what we did is we took a factory hood, we cut it, raised it, and molded it around the LT5 blower. So you'll actually notice the curvature and body lines of this hood match the theme of the car. Everything's really curvy, nothing is boxy. And that's something that we are really going for. We want the car to look super smooth. Now moving further forward from there, we get into the bumpers. So originally the bumper on this car would have hung out away from the car about 2 inches. So what we did is, and these are steel bumpers, my body shop actually chopped these bumpers up in 3 different sections, and they moved the bumper tighter to the side of the car and tighter on the inside from the front. So it really tightens up the bumpers. And if you look down from the side, you'll notice the bumper is just barely further forward than the edge of the hood. We did the same thing on the back. The back of the car actually has even more steel removed. So these back bumpers have so much material removed from them, a lot of people think they're fiberglass bumpers, but they're not. These are original steel bumpers that we have chopped up and fitted them very tight to the body. Again, it's one of those things that don't stand out at first glance, but if you ever see this car parked next to a stock C2 Corvette, it really stands out in the modifications. The wide body, the windows, the bumpers, all of it really ties together to this really custom one-off piece. And that's really what we like doing. It's a one-of-one build, and you get a one-of-one custom car. It's something that you would never notice unless it's right next to a stock one. Getting into the car, you'll notice the side pipes. So one thing about this car was we had to make custom side pipes for that LT5 engine. If you look up the exhaust tubing diameter on a C7 ZR1, you'll notice they're 3.5-inch exhaust flow. You can't go out and buy 3.5-inch side pipes for a C2 Corvette, so we had to custom make these, which also meant custom making the heat shields. The full exhaust system on this are one-off pieces. You can't get in any catalog and buy headers for an LT5 engine and a set of 3.5-inch exhaust pipes. The headers are 2 1/8-inch primaries, all stainless steel, and it's stainless steel all the way to the tips on the side pipes. Really nice custom-made tailored piece. Moving on to the interior, you'll notice that everything in here is styled mostly OEM for a 65 Corvette. The only thing that really stands out is the center console here. So as previously mentioned, we had to do a custom floor pan to fit that 8-speed automatic in here, which also meant making a custom center console. That transmission is so large, we actually had to take this dash, cut it in half, and move a lot of these components upwards. So if you look at a stock C2 Corvette dash assembly, you'll notice the radio and HVAC knobs are actually farther apart. And my body shop cut this dash in half and moved these components up, keeping an OEM look and getting that 8-speed transmission in here. Other than that, you'll notice that everything is wrapped in high altitude leather interior. So the high altitude means that the hides of cows that these came off of live at a higher elevation. So you'll notice there's no mosquito bite marks, there's no barbed wire fence marks or anything like that. And everything is wrapped in leather. The dash is wrapped in leather, the seats are wrapped in leather, the center console, even the headliner. The inside of this car smells fantastic. And before we did all the interior in this car, we also did full sound deadening, all new carpet, and all custom audio components. Even this radio here has Bluetooth. It looks OEM, but this is a Bluetooth radio. We've got speakers in the dash, speakers in the back of the car, and it's got a really nice system. Other than that, we also have air conditioning. So, you know, if you're gonna drive a car with an LT5 and you're driving somewhere where it's gonna be hot in the summertime, you wanna make sure you have air conditioning. So this is equipped with vintage air, and it blows nice and cold. We also have power windows, power door locks, remote start, GPS tracking, and many more added features. You'll also notice the gauge cluster. So the gauge cluster on this looks OEM, but these are all classic instruments, modern gauges. So the tachometer goes all the way out as high as 10,000 RPM, and the speedometer goes as high as 200 miles per hour. I want to thank you guys for checking out this video and seeing all the details of the 65 Chevrolet Corvette full custom build. If you're interested in purchasing this car, view the link in the description. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to give us a call or send us an email. I'll put those details in the video description as well. I'm Ryan with Slate Performance Automotive. We'll see you next time.